I started roasting at home on a kind of converted chicken oven for a while there, and then it was kind of motivated out of wanting to find cheaper green beans, and then it just kind of snowballed out of control until we got this thing and got that set up. But yeah, principally it's just because home roasting got out of control. The original kind of home roaster I made runs a piece of software that did the roasting for me. My background's in chemical engineering, so I wanted to make a roaster that could actually do the roasting and change its temperature and change its kind of fan speed over time. So that's where the software kind of grew out of that, and then I had to apply it to this kind of little 1 kilo roaster here. And so what makes this one unique is that you just set the roast curve ahead of time, and then it goes and changes its fan speed, and it goes and changes its own element, and you just kind of plan the batch ahead of time. You kind of have to do that with an electric roaster because they're so laggy. They take a very long time to heat up and a very kind of long time to change temperature if you haven't made it ahead of time. So yeah, that's what kind of makes that one different from say like a gas roaster or anything like that. But because you get to plan the batch ahead of time, because there's really tight process control around it, you're able to really say, I want this specific result from this thing, regardless of what the weather is doing or what the temperature outside or humidity outside is doing. So yeah, it's very precisely roasted coffee. Not in coffee roasting. My background's, like I said, is chemical engineering. So I worked in the mining sector, I worked in hydrocarbons, I worked for the Cadbury Schweppes making chocolate. So my background is really in just adapting chemical processes to make products. And that's kind of where my training and discipline kind of comes from. And then coffee just became like a hobby, and then eventually I want my own little processing plant. So that's your own little processing plant there, where you control the hardware and the software and everything else. Oh, so the first kind of kilo of coffee. Oh yeah, the first kind of kilo I guess was on this machine, but the first kind of coffee I ever roasted was just incinerated mess. It was ash. It was yeah, it was not very good at all. Because I mean, you don't know. You set up the machine. You're like, well, how hot can this? How hot does it need to get to? I don't know. We'll just set it to 220 and see what happens. And yeah, it just incinerated the coffee. Lots of smoke. Yeah, it wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. But that's good. It teaches you to get better, you know.